Welcome back. Of course I wouldn't leave you behind. I have just left Fort Steele and I'm heading to Canel Flats now. It is a beautiful sunshiny November day. It's a little chilly still, but it is gorgeous out and I want to dip this kayak in the water. And Canel Flats caught my attention when I was driving down to Fort Steele and I was like, you know what? I'm going back and I'm paddling in there. So that's what we're off to go do. In the meantime, enjoy the views. Oh my gosh, this place is just perfect. And I still have at least another hour and a half before the sun goes down. There's a little bit of a breeze, but that's okay. Whew, that breeze is brisk, but all we're gonna do is add another layer. I love to kayak all year round, if it's possible. That is one reason why I like Vancouver Island, because they don't really get winter there, right? So you can paddle all year round if you so choose. The lakes don't freeze up. It's quite nice. All right, one layer, got some gloves, and we are off. Got super shallow fast, so now we gotta paddle ourselves back out of here. Yeah, it's kind of like a sandy type mud, not clay. It's not hard and thick, but it's very soft and it's got a black underneath of it. I'm able to put my paddle quite far into it so it sinks deep. My kayak just slid over top of it, but it was kind of getting a little challenging, and I was like, this is not getting any shallower. I'm just getting farther and farther in, so it was just time to back out. Unfortunately, I can't go down the little side channels that I wanted to. They're so cool to do so, but still, nonetheless, it was a great paddle out here. I'm going to enjoy the rest of it as I make my way back to shore. I think it's going to be a beautiful sunset this evening. Ooh, it was so much warmer on the water than it is on shore. Well, I'm going to load up the kayak now, and then I'm going to take off to my next destination this evening. But in the meantime, I'm going to leave you with this beautiful sunset. So I ended up at Radium Hot Springs for a nice soak. A lot has happened since the sun set to the time that I arrived here. I'll have to share it as a bedtime story once I find a place to park for the night. Sinclair Canyon through the nighttime. Don't get to see that very often. I promised you a bedtime story, so let's start from the beginning. While my phone was filming the sunset, I was putting my kayak up on my van. I had realized my passenger door was locked, so I went to the driver's side. I opened up my driver's door, and I pushed the unlock button, and then I shut the door. Went back to the passenger side. I did not push the unlock button. I pushed the lock button, so that my doors are locked. Well, I go and grab my keys. Right. I don't have any pockets in the outfit that I'm wearing, so I put my keys on my bed. So now my keys are locked inside my van, and I'm stuck outside of it. Well, that's no big deal. I've got BCAA, which is a roadside assistance, so I'll just call them. So I grab my phone. I have 1% battery. I don't even have enough battery juice to make the phone call. I realized that, right, there were some houses up on the top of the hill. I'll just go knock on some doors. So I get to the top, and, you know, it's kind of like, doesn't look like anyone's home there or anybody's home there. And I happened to see these guys who were just getting ready to leave the work site. So I had hollered down and asked if I could use one of their phones. And sure enough, they helped me out and let me do so. So I had called BCAA and got a tow truck coming down to where I am. So I walked back down to my van. Now it's already getting dark. It is cold. It's 0 degrees. I am wearing my swimmer shoes that are wet, so my feet are cold. Luckily, that breeze that I've had before had calmed right down, so I didn't have to deal with that so much. But, you know, it's getting cold out and dark. Then I guess maybe, I don't even know how long because I have no phone, so I don't know what time it is or anything like that. A van pulls up right beside my van. It's just a huge parking lot, and I'm like, this better be with the tow truck. So luckily it was. It was a personal vehicle that had come down to help me because the tow truck hit a deer, so it was out of commission at that time. Good thing I didn't actually need a tow truck, and I just needed an unlocked door. So she helped me out. That was fantastic. I'm probably about an hour and a half out of the time that I really wanted to be gone from that kayaking and back on the road. So I wanted to take myself out for dinner before going to the hot springs and whichever. But I had to just realize that I really just need to sit back, relax, and soak. And what better way than to enjoy the hot springs? This is my first time at Radiant Hot Springs. I personally don't know if I would go back again. If I do, it will be the same as what I did this time, off season and in the evening. I imagine that place is insane during the summertime peak seasons, because it is in a national park for one. I think the Kootenay National Park. And yeah, it just was the rave of hot springs, I guess. I personally don't see what the big deal was about it. I didn't even find them to be all that hot, not compared to other ones like Ainsworth and the Cusp and Halcyon. Those ones are pretty darn good, and you have 2 pools to deal with. That one, there was only 1 pool that you could use. But anyways, it served its purpose, and that's what's important. I had pin dropped as I was leaving the hot springs a rest stop to go and sleep at for the night. And it was about 45 minutes away, and I needed to get a few more kilometers in to be happy with my travels for the day. So that was perfect. I got to the rest stop. I can't pull in. It's barricaded up. So I was like, great. I don't have any self-service to be able to check any other areas or stuff like that that I could sleep in around there. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have to drive till I find something. And I just happened to catch a pullout on the side of the road, on the other side of the road actually. So that's where I am right now. I am safe, I am sound, and I am going to go to sleep now that I have shared the story with you. And I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. The last you saw, I was going to bed. Well, the next day, I ended up driving into Golden, and while I was in Golden, I decided to take care of some business, and needless to say, it put me in a not so good mood, so I took the rest of the day to think and process what I needed to, and I just drove from Golden to Revelstoke. So the only filming I ended up doing was my drive through Rogers Pass. Sorry about that, but I just was not in the mood. So basically all I did yesterday was drive, nap, eat some food, and watch some movies. That was my day, and this morning here I am in Revelstoke, and I'm getting ready to finish my final leg to Kamloops. That's where I'll be staying for a few days for sure while I take care of some business there. And then I'll be going back on another little mini road trip after that. So I'm just going to go ahead and take you along with me for the rest of the journey from Revelstoke to Kamloops. I absolutely love this little corner. You have La Merch, La Baguette, and Rick's Meat around the corner. You can find all this goodness on the main drag in Revelstoke, British Columbia. Plus so much more. It's a pretty cool town to wander through. Of course, I had to get something for the road at the bakery, so I got myself a Dart hot chocolate and an almondine. That looked delicious. I am now in Salmon Arm. I'm going to do a load of laundry while I'm here, because I know in Kamloops there's only one laundromat that I know of, and the last time I went there, trust me, I would have preferred to go and wash my stuff in the lake. It was disgusting, and yeah. So we'll do it in Salmon Arm, where I know that it's clean and reasonably priced, and I will be okay until I make the next town that I know that there's good laundry at. I'll never forget the first time I drove into Salmon Arm. The first thing to catch my eye was a train. I know, right? And if you don't know, I have a little thing for trains. It wasn't just any train, though. It was an extraordinary, luxurious train, and written on the side, Rocky Mountaineer. This train tours around the western parts of Canada and the American Southwest, with the Rocky Mountains being its main attraction. One day, I'll be on that train, one way or another. All right, laundry is done. We're gonna get back on the road. I'm really not used to this getting dark early business. It's like 4 o'clock. I have exactly enough time to get to where I need to be. But yeah, I'm not used to this. And the time change was almost a week ago it happened. But because I had went into another time zone during that time change, I actually didn't lose my hour until last night when I re-entered the time zone that I'm technically used to. Anyways, I will see you in Kamloops. So I've made my way into Kamloops. There wasn't much for you to see between Salmon Arm and here because it was already getting dark and it just got darker. Anyways, I am parked for the night and I am going to be staying in Kamloops area for a few days. I have a few appointments I need to take care of around here, and then I'll be taking a side trip for a little bit, and you will join me again at that point. Until the meantime, I'm gonna leave it here. Take care of yourself. Enjoy life. Bye-bye.